You see, we are forever building a fantastic thought form, which we call the person. And our attachment to this view leads us to long for its permanence. But it's a strange thought form in that it's not unchanging, but ever changing in its eternal essence. And we choose the eternal essence to be in harmony with the eternal, which is God and the host of heaven. So we enter into maturity, we graduate into an eternal state of being. And when I say thought form, I mean all the values that you at present understand to be what you value, which you think of in terms of what the perfection is in your God. And in this case, it's a perfection that at present is beyond your conception, but you are in assurance of tapping into whatever that perfection is. So you may be wrong on certain details at present, but you are trusting firmly in the notion that that will be sorted out by your experience here, possibly, and lives to come, but ideally here and now, done as soon as possible, in a sense, that you graduate in the best, presumably most efficient, therefore, way. So you seek, in a nutshell, that which is good, that which you trust to be of God, unless, of course, He has it that you come to understand something more perfect, more in harmony with Him, and you have the notion of moving towards that with all your heart and being, because you want this harmony. I mean, I put it in simple terms. You want to be a wonderful friend of God, wonderful to Him, her, him or her. I mean, I don't have a neutral pronoun, but I'm going to have to use him. But yeah, your desire is to be in absolute harmony with God, your dad. I say dad because of the Jesus story. It seems to be the best way of seeing it. As a child, as someone who's not necessarily there yet, adulthood, graduation if you like, but most earnestly wanting to move in that direction, in all goodness and all blessing, all blessedness, all harmony with our wonderful Heavenly Dad, whom whom we take to be in some sense all powerful, all loving, and therefore eternal. And it is that eternality, being eternal, that we seek. In other words, the permanence of the overall being of the pattern of what we value and what we will come to value in particular, to be in eternal harmony with God, part of the heavenly host, family of God, which I take to be our reason for living, loving God, and his reason for living, loving us, his children, his creation, work of his hands, if you like, because he wanted beautiful, wonderful company like himself. And we delight in becoming such by his grace and his goodness, his kindness, his love. Perfect dad, perfect parent. When I say perfect dad, I mean the qualities, male and female, of course. Loving kindness, protection and provision, all the mix of what we understand at present to be helpful to life. And we view this treasure as life, life eternal. Again, I'm following the Jesus story, aren't I, you see? I'm come that you might have life, life more abundantly, life eternal. And this state of being is therefore something that's within you. It is who you are. And to come back to where I started, this thought form, everything is thought. Absolutely everything. From our limited comprehension here, it's probably most reliably viewed as thought. Everything is thought. God, you, me, the whole concept of being and living, of life, happiness, joy, peace, goodness, or every blessing you can think of. It's a thought. And we're holding this combination of thoughts, what in elementary religious terms is principles. You know, principle of not killing, principle of honouring parents, principles of loving God before all else. You know, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind. That's a thought form, and part of your thought form, your being, who you are, and you are a unique individual, if nothing else, by the way you came to be a graduated adult. Do you see? I mean, all the students graduate, but they're not all of the same knowledge and understanding, except that they have a common thread of some grasp of the state of the science or the art as is presented in society at present. But every student is individual, but they all graduate. They're all graduates, you see. This is a wonderful, this creation, astonishing university or school or whatever you like to call it, in that there are no failures. Part of probably what you value, which is that no one gets left out. God is most able, wonderful, most competent parent, utterly loving and can bring all of his children to perfect maturity. That's part of our thought form, that this is our God. And I might say, I don't like the word linchpin, but the very centre, the very bedrock of the thought, our being's thought form, this wonderful God. This beautiful thought form that we relate to. Infinite. All. Foundation thinker of all. Thought is in some sense, we think of a person, a most wonderful person. And he's ever the most wonderful person we can imagine, each individual, and corporately us together, because of this wonderful harmony that we have. Such that to be in the company of the host of heaven is utter blessedness itself. With our God, with all the host of heaven. Do you see, it's all thought. I don't mean I know what thought is, other than how we see it at present. But we trust it all to him, you see. This too is the fantastic feature of our thought form, that we have this amazing faith. We trust in things unseen, by which I actually mean things not by any means fully conceived of, but trusted in. This is the astonishing essence of God that we have as children of God. This ability to move towards a perfection we have not yet conceived of, by his grace and help and loving kindness. This is part of our self, our thought form, yours and mine, for this life eternal. It's not just simplistic trust either. It's an overpowering devotion that we've essenced from this experience of living in, for instance, at present this world, this uncertainty, this situation of time, space and matter, what we call the universe in physical terms here, which is of course itself a fantastic thought form that we're experiencing by the grace of our Heavenly Dad. Thank you, love you, Dad. Love you for your presence, your loving kindness. I will never leave you nor forsake you, saith the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not unto thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. So I choose to thank him for all things that I possibly can. And it leads me on to, I think, being able to trust him for all things. That's an incredible blessedness in our lives. to have that experience. And you can enter into that now. You thanked him for all that's good. Thank him for that which it doesn't seem so good. Because you choose to trust him, his power and his love, and his eternal presence and loving kindness to you. You choose to trust in this. Taste and see how wonderful life can be by doing so. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.